Welcome to the Health for Healing channel. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons and share your thoughts about the video. In a modern American pantry, nestled between pristine packages and vibrant labels, lurks a quietly pervasive crisis. Scan any popular food item, and the ingredient list unfurls like a long, chemical-laden scroll, an assembly of multisyllabic invaders, far removed from the wholesome products of earth and farm. This burgeoning complexity in our food, marked by an increase in ingredients that require a science degree to understand, denotes not just a culinary evolution, but a health emergency in stealth mode. As we delve into the invisible tapestry of risks sewn into these multi-ingredient foods, what unfolds is a story not only of dietary shift, but of culture, economy, and corporate influence that has, perhaps inadvertently, re-architected the landscape of public health. Our journey through flavorings, preservatives, and mysterious additives reveals a complicated relationship with what we eat, and, by extension, with ourselves. In the early 20th century, the American diet began a transformation as profound as any in its history, fueled by industrialization and urbanization. It was a time when food production shifted from the pastoral symphony of farm-based, season-dependent ingredients to the mechanized hum of factory outputs. This transformation was not merely about scale or speed, but the very nature of what we came to accept as food. As factories could produce vast quantities of food at unprecedented rates, convenience became king. Shelf life extended, meals could be whipped up in minutes, and a family dinner often required little more than a tear of a package. This was food science in its nascent stage, where innovation was measured by longevity and ease rather than nutritional integrity. The consequences of these shifts were not immediately apparent. It took decades for patterns to emerge, linking dietary changes to emerging health issues. As processed foods became staples, nutritionists began sounding alarms about the synthetic tenets of our pantries that were gradually overtaking the natural. Navigate to the middle of any supermarket today, and you'll find rows filled with boxes, cans, and packets. A food label lexicon that reads more like a chemistry textbook than a diner's menu. Names like sodium benzoate, high fructose corn syrup, and monosodium glutamate populate ingredient lists, signaling a departure from whole, recognizable foods. Understanding these components requires not just patience, but also a form of literacy that the average consumer may not possess. The proliferation of such additives correlates with shifts in food production ideologies, from foods meant to nourish to foods designed to allure, preserve, and profit. This complexity in ingredients often masks a simpler, stark reality. As the number of ingredients increases, the nutritional value frequently diminishes. Here lies a paradox. More is indeed less. The increase in artificial ingredients often leads to an increase in calories, sodium, and sugar, sculpting a dietary environment where obesity, diabetes, and heart diseases flourish like never before. The web of causality that connects diet and disease is intricate and undeniable. Increasingly, scientific studies reveal how diets heavy in processed foods substantially elevate risks for chronic diseases such as obesity, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. These are not isolated ailments, but a growing epidemic that reflects more profound societal shifts. The correlation is as straightforward as it is alarming. Each additional daily serving of processed food increases health risk markers. This dietary degradation acts almost imperceptibly, accumulating in small, flavorful increments until the burden manifests in our body's faltering systems. As our meals have grown more complex in their ingredient lists, our bodies have struggled to adapt to the barrage of unnatural substances. This isn't merely a failure of individual willpower, but an environmental, almost evolutionary mismatch between human biology and modern diet innovations. For the average consumer, making healthy choices has become a Herculean task. Labels are not just lists, they are battlegrounds of information where confusion often triumphs over clarity. Amidst this, the role of education and clear, transparent labeling becomes paramount. Confronted with a wall of products, each boasting its litany of health benefits, consumers are often swayed by misleading claims that mask poor nutritional profiles. Navigating this maze requires vigilance and knowledge, commodities that are in short supply in our fast-paced world. This bewilderment isn't accidental, it's engineered. By complicating food choices, the food industry keeps consumers dependent on convenience options that are paradoxically detrimental to health. A loop of dependency is created, where poor dietary choices lead to health issues, which then lead to a greater reliance on accessible processed food options. Confronting the giant of complex multi-ingredient foods requires a multi-pronged approach. At the policy level, the implementation of stricter labeling laws, limits on certain additives, and perhaps incentives for clean, simple ingredient lists could shift the tide. Moreover, education plays a critical role in empowering consumers. Schools, communities, and healthcare providers can serve as foundational pillars in building a more discerning eating public. Educating individuals about the risks of complex ingredient lists and the benefits of whole, minimally processed foods can recalibrate consumer demand, driving market changes from the ground up. Ultimately, it is a choice, both personal and collective. As we stand at the crossroads between convenience and health, between traditional dietary practices and modern-day anomalies, it is imperative to reconsider our paths. Do we continue down the lane lined with quick fixes and flashy packages? Or do we take the road less traveled by, one that returns to the roots of real, recognizable food? The answer, much like our health, lies fundamentally in our hands. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you found it useful. If you hit the like and subscribe buttons, that would be awesome. Take care and stay well.